a few days ago, I was eating breakfast with my daughter, and we were just having a grand old time when all of a sudden it was kind of like a runway where the lights just kind of light up, and that's what I felt all the way up through my neck, down my shoulders, down my arms. It was like every trigger point, every tense area that I've ever tried to massage out and work on, it just was all like illuminated. And the next thing I knew, I couldn't really move my neck or my upper body. And at the time, and I'm still kind of a little bit perplexed by it. I mean, I've been doing yoga a lot lately and taking good care of myself. And in a way, I'm wondering, like, is all of this the result of deeper tensions and old patterns and things kind of coming up to the surface so that I can have a chance to release them? Or is it something else, more along the lines of I've been pushing things too far. I've been dealing with a lot of stress, a lot of tension in my life, and maybe lately I've been doing yoga, but you know what, for a while it was kind of hard for me to get my practice going, so things have been accumulating, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and maybe, it just kind of got to the point where my body was like, giving me that warning signal that I had overtaxed it, and then it was just kind of like, whoo, everything kind of turned off for a bit. And you know what, for the next few days, it hurt so much that I literally couldn't really get in and out of bed. I remember driving her to school that morning. There are speed bumps that are right after you leave our driveway and kind of drive down that street, and like driving over a speed bump. It's like you don't even realize how much you use these muscles to get you through life. It's not just when you turn your head or anything. We initiate movements through our neck and through our shoulders in so many subtle ways. And since our body just happens to work so well, we just don't even notice it until, of course, something like that happens. And what I want to bring up, a lot of you have been studying with me professionally, some others on the personal side, giving exchanges with your partners. And the very first thing that I want to make everyone aware of is that when someone goes through some kind of injury like that, that's kind of what we call like the acute phase, where it's a brand new injury and you can really feel like sharp pains in your body. The most important thing that you got to do at that point is give the body a chance to rest. And in fact, there's a very common acronym that is well known in healing circles, which is RICE or RICER, and it goes like this: rest, ice, compression, elevation, and then the R for the RICER would be rehabilitation. So, most important is the whole idea that when your body hurts itself, there's no quick fix. I mean, we can take pain relievers, and I'm not for or against it. That's not what the point of this is, to kind of help relieve any kind of initial suffering or anything that's going on in our body, and anti-inflammatories as well. But you still have to give your body the time it needs to repair itself, to reset, to do what it knows how to do, to realign and recalibrate and essentially like reset its equilibrium. And ice and compression and elevation, really all of those are aspects to help control inflammation. And what your body is designed to do, and it's this amazing thing, is that when it first hurts itself, it's not like it knows how serious it is. It's not like it's its own doctor that says, I'm just going to give a half a teaspoon here, whereas if it was some big injury, I'm going to give like a teaspoon of some kind of medicine there. No, it's going to treat all instances like, essentially life or death. And the body's immune system and the body's response is the inflammation response, is to essentially build some kind of protection around the area so that it doesn't get more harm. But even if it's something as simple as like a little sprain versus something big like something that breaks, the body's going to essentially respond in the same way, with the same kind of, I must protect this from any major, bigger damage. Your body is more concerned with things like, am I going to be able to walk again? Am I going to be able to survive? So since it doesn't know, it's always going to take that greatest common denominator and protect itself. So for us, we have to honor that and respect that, but we should also know that we can do things to help reduce inflammation, because after that initial phase, if you stay inflamed for too long, then you start to lose your mobility, and then actually recovering from injuries, it's not just the initial thing that happened, it's the not moving your body in a certain kind of way for an extended period of time that you have to get back. So that's why ice or compression, wrapping some kind of bandage over an area, or elevation. So if it's like, let's say, an ankle injury, making sure that your foot is elevated for as long as you can, maybe 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off with especially the ice and the elevation, that you're doing what you can to help control that inflammation so that you can move more quickly from that acute and initial injury stage into the rehabilitation stage. And it's when you're in that rehabilitation stage that, or maybe even, where it goes from something acute or subacute into more chronic, that then you can do the things to fix yourself. And massage then plays such a vital component. And when you massage, then you bring more awareness to that area of the body, that you help encourage circulation, you help encourage movements. And I feel like Thai massage is probably the most intelligent approach to healing and to treating when you're in that phase, because, like I said, the body gets stiff from that inflammation, from not moving something, and we have to fight against that or recover from that. That's because our body is made to move. And our body is happiest when it is moving. Muscles are really designed to move. So a massage approach that combines customized movement with massage is essentially, therefore, giving the body exactly what it needs. And it can drop down into greater experiences of relaxation, and it can reprogram itself to know new patterns and those healthy patterns one more time. So if somebody moves you in some of those patterns, and then right away for the next few days you continue maybe with some customized stretches or just being active in those ways and just listening to your body as you go, then you're really doing all you can to help expedite the recovery phase. So I wanted to give you that overview now, and then in some videos going forward over the next weeks and months and years, I'll talk about various treatment approaches that we can take using Thai massage, but you can't do anything in that world until the first phase is complete. And I know that, and I've been living that, and I'm tempted to massage myself, and I have been doing some things, and then I know that, I'm not actually out of that phase yet. So if I've been, trying to massage and dig in deep where things got stiff, then my body will tell me, because it'll hurt that much more later. And we don't want that. If you're going to massage someone and then it's going to hurt that much more later, it's like their body is still telling you that we are still in the inflammation stage. We are still in the acute phase, and we need to give the body the time it needs to get over that part. All right? So that's my teaching for today. It's valuable information for professionals and for people giving massages to their loved ones. Please use it and keep it really in mind and in heart when you're making great decisions about how you're going to help make people feel better. If you are watching this anywhere but stilllightcenter.com, please head over there and leave your comments. I'd love to hear your stories, any feedback, or anything you'd like to share with the community about this really important topic. And we'll see you really soon. Thank you so much. Namaste.